Hi everybody. All right, having some technical difficulties, but I think I finally got it to turn properly now, and I'm in the right orientation. Sorry, the iPhone's giving me just a little bit of trouble. I don't know why. But anyway, I think we're good now, so thank you for your patience as I work through this little issue. I'm super excited to show you some really cool cards tonight. They're butterfly cards and they're really cheerful and great colors, so I hope you like this project. Let me just double check everything. It looks good. All right. Thank you guys. So thank you in advance for watching. If you're watching now live, if you're watching on the replay, if you're watching on YouTube, I just want to say thank you for watching. And let's just get started on these projects today. So let me turn the camera down. Okay. I'm just tightening up, pardon my fingers. And I think we're good. Okay. So these cards today that I'm going to show you, I got the product right out of this new annual catalog. And I'm just going to show you what page they're on. So this is the Butterfly Kisses, and this is on page 36 and 37 of the new catalog. It's got dies, it's got stamps, it's got paper, it's got little embellishments, lots of fun stuff in these really beautiful colors that we're going to play with. I do want to have a giveaway tonight. So I have these beautiful Fun Flowers resin shapes, and we're going to be using these on our projects tonight. So I want to give one of these away. All you have to do is share my video, either share on Facebook, share on YouTube, and then I'll enter you into a drawing to win one of these. But please leave me a comment if you're going to share, so I know that you shared. Otherwise, I really can't tell, and then I can't enter you in the contest. So these are fun. All right, so these are the projects we're going to make tonight. So I've got 3 cards. We're going to do a thank you card with the butterflies, one that's a sending good vibes. We're going to do all the love, which is a gatefold card. And then we've got these cute little butterfly gummies that we're just making a little treat bag with. So let's go ahead and get started on our first card. Here is, whoops. This is the actual stamp set that we're going to use. And these butterflies, they're not your traditional butterfly shape. They're kind of almost cartoony, I would say, but they're definitely a lot of fun. So that's the stamp set. This is the die set. So lots and lots of fun dies to play with here to make all kinds of combinations. The other thing I'm using for the first card is this new set that came out this year, and this is called Fabulous Frames Dies. So we're going to use this pretty little scalloped frame for our project. And then let me show you the designer series paper. Let me show you some pieces that aren't all cut up. Anyway, this is the paper. It's really fun, bright prints, all these different butterfly prints. And it's super fun. On the other side is just patterns. And these patterns make for great backgrounds, great butterfly pieces. So I'll show you everything we made with this DSP tonight. Okay, so let's get out the pieces for our first card. And I've gone ahead and die cut a few things, but I'll show you what I used as we go along. So the first thing I wanted to do was start with the Calypso Coral cardstock, and this is 8.5 by 5.5, and it's scored right down the middle at 4 1/4, and our card is going to open this way. And then I cut a piece of 5 1/4 by 4 inch of just the basic white that we're going to put on the inside of our card. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is I also cut a piece of this DSP to 5 1/4 by 4 with the little butterflies on it. So we'll start by attaching this to the outside of the front of our card. Let me get my seal out, and I'm just going to use a little bit of seal to attach it. Just a couple strips will do. And we'll just center this right on our card. Okay. So then I took the fancy frame set and I actually cut it twice. I cut it once out of the Parakeet Party and once out of the white. And so save the other part for another project, right? So I'll just show you, here's the mirror part that I had. So you can see both pieces here, right? So it cuts out the frame and the little window. And then we're just gonna mix it up and then save this part for a different card. All right, so we can attach that right to our DSP that we have. And I'm just gonna use the seal again and just center it right about here on the card. And then I'll just put a little bit of seal right at the top and bottom, and we'll put our frame on the outside. Aren't these frames darling? I just think they're so cute. I think I'm going to be using these a lot on different projects. Okay, we're going to do a little bit of stamping. Mostly this card doesn't have much stamping. We're just going to stamp a sentiment on this and be finished. So I actually took this sentiment from the Peaceful Moments set, and this is a great set for sentiments because it has pretty much everything you need. It's got happy birthday, a thank you, deepest sympathy, congratulations, all kinds of really valuable sentiments. So I like the thank you. I thought the font would go okay with this, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp that in the Starry Sky. So on the back of the DSP, they always tell you what the colors are in the designer series paper, which is super helpful so you can match. You can see the Parakeet Party matches. I'm going to use the Starry Sky. This is Crushed Curry we're going to use, Fresh Freesia today, and then the Calypso Coral, which matches the outside of our card. I love the fact that Stampin' Up! Coordinates everything. It just makes things really, really easy. So I'm just going to put thank you right here on my card, right in the middle. And then I'm going to take my banner punch. And this is the Pick a Banner Punch, and we will just turn this into a little banner and just clip the sides off of this. You could always cut these by hand too if you wanted to, if you didn't have the punch. I always say use what you have. Okay, so we're ready to just pop this sentiment up right here, and we'll use some dimensionals. I'm just going to take a couple and put them on the back. Once you get this card prepped, as you can see, it's super easy and fast to put together. There's just a little bit of cutting and die cutting involved beforehand. Okay, so I did die cut a couple of butterflies. So these kind of are outline butterflies here. There's a big one, there's a small one. So as you can see, I did the big one in Calypso Coral. I did the smaller one in the Fresh Freesia. Super easy, you run it through and it's cut out perfectly, and look how intricate that looks, right? So I'm just gonna fold my wings up just a little bit so they're kind of standing up on the page. And then I'm just gonna run a little seal and put this butterfly right here and do the same thing with the Fresh Freesia one. And a little bit of seal right here. Super easy, right? And the last thing we're gonna do for this card is use some of those Fun Flowers resin shapes that I just showed you. So let me pull that out and get my Take Your Pick tool. And you can see these all match the same colors that we just talked about, right? So we'll just use kind of some random colors. I'll just put one of those. Maybe a big yellow one here, and then some of the small ones as well. Kind of mixing it up a little bit, and let's do a little green one there. So those little flowers really add something to the card, right? So cute, simple. So the other thing is just to finish off the inside of this one. I'm just gonna use a little seal and center this piece of the white cardstock in the center of the inside. And then I just cut off another little piece of that same DSP that we just used. And this one, instead of going, you could do it either way, right? You could do it across the bottom like that. And this one I cut a little bit longer, so we're gonna just put this one on the side, right, like that. And then you could put a sentiment in the inside, or you could just handwrite whatever you want to thank someone for. And just a super easy and quick, fun thank you card. So that is card number 1 for tonight. All right, the next card we're gonna make is we're gonna do our gatefold card. And so what this one is you just have a belly band that's right in the middle, and that just slides off the top. And the card opens like this, and it says, thinking of you with all my heart. And then we've stamped a butterfly on the inside. So let us get making that. All right. So what we've added to this card, I just want to show you. You guys know I use these layering circle dies pretty much every week, right? So you have the scalloped ones and the plain ones. I use the scallop one on a piece of vellum and the plain one on a piece of white, just kind of do a background for our butterfly with the belly band. All right, let me move a couple things and we'll get our pieces out here. Little bit of die cutting with this one for the butterfly pieces. So I'm going to set that stuff aside for a moment. Let me get organized for a second. And this is going to be our card base here. And we've done it just a little bit differently. So we still have the 8.5 by 5.5, but instead of scoring down the middle at 4 1/4, we scored on each side at 2 1/8, right? So let me just take a bone folder and just kind of crease. Make the lines a little bit crisper. And then as you can see, it's going to open right in the middle like that. Okay, so that's going to be our card base. Next, I cut a couple pieces of the DSP from that same designer series paper set with the butterflies, and it coordinates nicely with the fresh freezer. You have the little purple flowers on there, so that looks really cute. And so these pieces are 5 1/4 by 1 7/8. So I'll use a little seal and we'll put those right in the middle. And now we'll do the other side. And that looks pretty good for the outside of our card. Let's work on the inside next. And this for the inside is going to be the same as before. So this is 5 1/4 by 4 inches. And on the inside, we're going to stamp a sentiment. And from the same set that I just showed you, we're going to do thinking of you with all my heart. And that's this stamp right here. And I want to stamp that in the Calypso Coral. Now, the first time I stamped it on the first card was probably the first time that I used that stamp. And I feel like it didn't come out perfect. So I'm going to actually get a piece of scrap paper here and see what it's going to look like when we stamp it. Make sure it's going to come out dark enough that we're happy with it. I think that looks pretty good. So I'm going to stamp that right up about here. Okay, so that's a sentiment. And then I wanted to show you how to stamp a butterfly, because you don't have to just die cut the butterflies. You can also stamp the butterflies. So we're going to take, let me get out a couple more ink pads. We're going to make this butterfly out of the Parakeet Party and the Fresh Freesia and the Calypso Coral. So I've got all my stamp pads out. I'm going to start by doing the top one in the Fresh Freesia. So I've got these little striped wings right here. And because I'm going to put something right down the center, I'm just going to take my finger and just kind of run right down the center to remove some of that ink so it's not overlapping. And then I'm going to set this right about here. So that's the top butterfly part. And then I'm going to take this stamp and I'm going to use the Parakeet Party. And I'm going to do the same thing, just run my finger down a little bit so we have a little bit of a gap, and we'll put that for the bottom wings. Okay, so you can see how we've left a little space there. So now let me get the Calypso Coral. Here's our little butterfly body. And I'm just going to ink that up with the Calypso Coral and put it right down the middle. And we have our cute little butterfly. Now I took another piece of the DSP for the bottom just to make it just a little bit fancier. And you can see the other side of that had some butterflies. So we're just going to put this along the bottom just with a little strip of seal. And then that's the inside of our card that's finished. I'm going to close up these ink pads and hold on a second. Get organized. I'm making a big mess. So give me a second just to get my space back and put these away. Okay, so now let's adhere this to the middle of our card. And center it right here. Great. All right, so the card part looks good, right? Open it up and there's the inside. All right, the other thing we're gonna do is our sentiment. So I have this little square of basic white that we're gonna stamp on and a little bit of Parakeet Party to frame it out. And this one I stamped all the love, and I did that in Calypso Coral. So let me see if I can center it on this rectangle. Looks pretty good. And then I'm just going to take a little piece of some seal and attach that right to the frame. And then we'll pop that up on the outside of our card with a couple of dimensionals. Okay, all that's going to be left then is going to be the belly band. So we'll just put this right on an angle right there. So the belly band, I just have a piece of the fresh freesia, and this is 9 inches by 1 inch, and I want it to come straight across the front, and then I'm going to just flip it over and fold it over on the other side. And I want it to be kind of snug so it doesn't slide and fall off. Okay, I feel like I have a little ink on my fingers, and I'm going to use a little bit of seal just to seal it shut like this. Okay, then that's going to be the base of our belly band that's going to slide up and down. Now we can go ahead and finish what we want to attach to it. And we're just going to assemble it. I've already die cut the pieces. So like I said, I have the scalloped vellum circle, and I'm going to put the white circle right on top of that, right in the middle. And I think these were probably designed to have a little bit smaller border, but I like a big fat border around it, so that's why I chose. You could choose any size dies that you want and make the border as big or not big as you would like to. Okay, so then for the top wings of our butterfly, I have this outline that I die cut, and then I also cut this out of the DSP, and we're just going to attach these two. And I'm going to use my glue stick to add some adhesive. And just attach that little outline. So you can stamp the butterflies, you can die cut the butterflies, you can cut out butterflies from the DSP, so there's lots of different ways you can do this. Okay, and that's pretty good. All right, so I'm just going to, again, get our wings a little bit fluffed up. And go ahead and put that on here. And then we'll attach the bottom one, and this is just die cut out of the Parakeet Party. And that will be the bottom wing. Actually, I think I want to move this down just a tad so it's more centered. I could have just assembled the whole butterfly and then put it on, which probably would have been the better thing to do. And I'm just going to put a little bit of seal on the body of the butterfly, and this I die cut out of Calypso Coral. There's two different sizes. There's a short one and a long one. This one is the long one. Okay, I'm going to take a piece of the fresh freesia ribbon and just bring it around the belly band just to dress it up a little bit. And we're just going to tie a bow off to the side. So let me kind of get it centered. And I want it pretty far off to the side because my circle's pretty big that's going to go in the middle. Let me just get that a little bit tighter. And again, coordinating ribbon, so that's nice. It's the same color. Looks good. Okay, that's our ribbon. Let's just trim off the edges. Okay. Now we're ready to go ahead and secure our butterfly. So I'm going to do that with dimensional so it pops up a little. And I'm just going to put some right here, and that's going to help hold our ribbon in place as well. All right. Ready to put that right about there. And that looks pretty good, I think. I'm gonna move it up just a tiny bit so it's not so close to the all the love. And then lastly, I'm gonna take some of our basic rhinestone jewels and just dress up the body of the butterfly. So I'm just gonna put about 5 of them on or so, just to kind of make it extra sparkly, fun. See if I can get these kind of evenly spaced. Let's go over just a little bit. Okay, so that's card number 2. And again, you could do this, you could make this into a birthday card, you could make this into a thank you card, any kind of card that you want. I don't know if I showed you the sentiments on this set, but they're kind of cute sentiments, right? So glad you exist, sending good vibes, all the love, you're my bestie, and hey. So those are some of the sentiments that come in the Best Butterflies set. All right, so that is card number 2. I hope you like it. Let me put this one back together. All right, let's start working on card number 3. Now this one is sending good vibes, and you could send this for anything, right? So this one, again, we just did a lot of die cutting, and just only stamped the sentiment. So let's get out the pieces for this card. All right. So this one, we're starting with a crushed curry card base this time, and you can see it coordinates nicely. And we're doing the 8.5 by 5.5 square to 4 1/4. And this one is gonna open like this. So I cut out a couple pieces of the DSP, and this is, you can see the paper that we just used, but this is the flip side that kind of coordinates. So we're gonna start by attaching our DSP to the front of the card. Oh, I think I am out. Hold on, let me see if I have an extra one here. Oh, both of mine might be out. Well, I don't know if I'm going to refill it right this minute. I have some, so I'm just going to use another runner that I happen to have. I will have to refill both of those. Okay, and then I'm going to just take this other piece of DSP and attach this to the bottom. And then I kind of wanted just a little bit of something to separate the two patterns, so I just cut a piece of the crushed curry in a solid color, and I'm just going to attach that. Okay, now for the butterfly parts, we're going to attach our butterflies. So let's make our butterflies ahead of time. We'll do it this way. So I'll show you the pieces that I cut out, and this is all out of the designer series paper in the different coordinating colors in really fun patterns. Not a realistic butterfly by any means, right? But just kind of fun and whimsical. So those are my pieces, and then I cut out 2 of the Starry Sky butterfly bodies. So we'll attach that. This time I'm just going to use a little bit of Tombow glue and see if I cannot get glue on my fingers this time. And we'll just put our butterflies like this. Okay, there's one. And let's do our other one. You could use any colors that you want. You could use any paper that you want with this set. You don't have to use this paper or these colors. Just use what you have. It's just a really fun, you could make any kind of butterfly. Okay, so next I've got the 2 vellum scallop circles, and I'm just gonna attach these while those are drying to my card, kind of one a little bit higher than the other one. And I'm just gonna use a little bit of the tape runner in the middle, because I know that's gonna be covered up, because I know sometimes you can see through the vellum. But I know it's going to be covered with the butterfly. All right, I'm going to pop these butterflies up. So let me flip it over, and this can help keep the butterfly together too while it's the glue is drying. So I'll just put a couple of dimensionals like that. All right, I'm gonna curl my wings up just a little bit. Get that under, it's like the butterfly slip is showing. And we'll put this butterfly right here popped up. And then let me get the other one ready. And we'll do the same thing. We'll kind of curl the wings a little bit. And then we'll pop this one up right like that. Okay, let me get rid of this. I'm making a little bit of a mess because you know how good I am with glue. Not so much. Okay, let us stamp our sentiment. And I just have a little strip of basic white cardstock that we're going to put our sentiment on, and I'm going to stamp that in the starry sky, and we'll do sending good vibes. Let me get that inked up. This is one of our new in colors this year, and it's a really pretty dark blue. And I'm not going to make that a banner or anything. We'll just leave it just straight the way it is. I mean, you could make it a banner if you wanted to. And we'll get a couple dimensionals and put our sentiment on the card. And we'll put that right here. All right, lastly, let's take some of those rhinestones again and dress up our butterflies. There's also a cute little stamp in this set that you can also dress up the body of the butterfly with. And let me show you that real quick, because it's kind of cool. So it's this little thing right here with the little lines. So you could stamp that right in the middle, or you could stamp and emboss it. And that would be really pretty too. Lots of options with these sets. All right. Our butterflies are almost finished. I think just adding the rhinestones really adds a little something. We also have some newer iridescent rhinestones, which are really pretty. I could have used those for this too. Could have added some more resin flowers, whatever you want to do to dress it up. Okay, so that is card number 3. All right, now let's move on to our last. And this we're just gonna make a cute little treat bag. Maybe you wanna give a little gift to somebody. So I will go through that. For this next one, these are brand new. They're peekaboo treat bags that Stampin' Up just came out with. And you get a package and you get 2 colors. You get some in the craft and some in the white. So I used a white one for this project. The other thing that we're using that's a little bit different, so this time instead of stamping or die cutting, I just took some of the designer series paper from that set and I just cut out 2 of the butterflies by hand, which only takes a couple seconds to just go around. It's pretty easy cut. Just to cut those out, I didn't have to stamp or cut anything with the die cuts. I also, this is another new set from Stampin' Up. This is designer tags dies, and I just used this little tag right here. And I cut that out of the parakeet just to make a little tag for our bag. But these, I'm going to be using these a lot because these are really fun dies and kind of fancy tags. So those will be good for the future. All right, so let's get out our pieces for this one. And this is a very simple project too. So I just have the bag that I just showed you, and it's all set. It's got the clear little thing already in it. These are food safe bags, and I cut 2 pieces of DSP, 3 7/8 by 1 3/4, 3 7/8 by 1 inch, and we're just going to attach those to our bag. You could have used the other side too. That would have been really pretty too, right? And totally change it up. But we're going to use this one and kind of center it right above that window there, and we'll put a piece on the bottom as well. Okay, then I've gone ahead and I pre-cut 2 of the butterflies that I just showed you from the DSP. So I'm just going to take a dimensional and attach the butterflies. Super easy, right? And we'll put one right there. Curl the wings up just a little bit. And one right here. Okay, then we're gonna take the tag and I'm just gonna stamp the little sentiment that says, hey. You could do hello if you had it. You could do, you know, any stamp that you have. You could do it. And I'm just doing hey. Anybody else say that a lot? I always say that, hey. I guess instead of hi sometimes, right? So I'm just gonna attach that right here. And I'm going to use a glue dot for that. And just put it right about there. And then I'm going to take this piece of Starry Sky ribbon, and this is a shiny metallic ribbon in the same color that coordinates with the stamp set, with the papers. And I'm just going to wrap that around. Now you could use this, you could also add another, you know, you don't have to limit yourself to just a blue. With this, it's such skinny ribbon. What I'm trying to say is you could use 2 or 3 at the same time, and that would be really pretty as well. Okay, so I'm gonna try and center my bow right about here. But it would be pretty if you used 3 of the coordinating colors of ribbon at one time. I think that would be nice. Let me tuck this under the wing. Okay, and I'm gonna clip off my ends. If you can see, this ribbon frays really nice at the end too, so if you like that frayed look on the end, you can fray that ribbon as well. And that's pretty much for the bag. Let me show you, I got these cute little butterflies on Amazon, little gummy butterflies. And so I'm just gonna put some in the bag to finish it off. Let's see if I can open it up. It seals well. It's like almost like a little Ziploc bag. It doesn't hold a ton, but that's okay too, right? Because you don't need to give a ton. These would make great treat bags for a birthday party or end of the year gifts, teacher gifts, gifts for your coworkers. Oh, pardon me. So I'm just going to take the tongs and just kind of put a couple of them in there. Let me get one more scoop of butterflies. Okay, that's pretty good. All right, and we've got our little treats in there. So simple and easy little treat bag, right? So we've got that together. All right, so those were our 4 projects for tonight. That went by pretty fast because all the die cutting we did in advance. So let's look at our projects again. We did our thank you card with the butterflies. We did our sending good vibes card. We did all the love card. And then we did our little treat bags. And again, you can embellish these as much as you want. I think on the last one, I took another one of these little resin flowers and just put it on the tag, right like that. Or you could use the rhinestones and dress it up a little bit too. So those are our 4 projects. Now, if you would like the make and takes for these projects, what I do is I do all the cutting, and I will send you the cardstock, the DSP to make all 4 of these projects. I'll send you rhinestones, I'll send you ribbon. I do the die cutting for you. I cannot stamp, so you would have to have your own stamp set to be able to stamp. But I would send that to you free if you place an order of $35 or more. Information is here. I will link it to my Facebook business page, and I'll also put the links on the YouTube video. So stick around for just one more minute. I want to show you what I have coming up for next week. Some really cute cards because Father's Day is coming up. And so I've got some really cute masculine cards. I just want to remind you too, if you would like the measurement and supply sheet from this week, you can email me, and that's sunshineandsparklestamping@gmail.com, and I will be happy to send you all the measurements and products that we used for these projects. Just a quick reminder that the In Color Starter Kit today is the last day, the 31st, that you could get in on that deal. You would get $125 worth of product for $99. It's the starter kit, which means going forward you get 20% off all your orders. And in addition to that, they're adding another $66 worth of product. So you'd be getting the grid paper, the In Color cardstock, 5 ink pads in the In Colors, and then the In Color Designer Series paper. So that's a really fabulous deal. I didn't get a good deal like that when I signed up, but I'm still happy to sign up because I get 20% off all my orders, and I love to get a discount. Okay, and you don't have to sell anything. Pick of the crop. This is our paper pumpkin kit, and this is, you can order that till the 10th. The last chance sale is starting tomorrow, and that is for our mini catalog that's ending up, and we've been doing a lot of products out of the mini. So I'll show you more next week with the mini catalog, and our projects for next week we're going to make out of this mini catalog as well. So there's a lot of things that are last chance. They're going to retire, so you have to order them by the end of June while supplies last, and some of the stuff in here is discounted 30 to 50% off, so that's a great deal as well. And then our new mini catalog, that is coming out July 1st. As demonstrators, we get to order from it starting tomorrow. So that's super exciting. That's going to be fun. Christmas, Halloween, fall, all kinds of fun things. We, as demonstrators, we're already able to see the digital copy of this online, and Celebration starts the 1st too. So that's going to be fun to have new product, new catalog. So for next week, I want to focus a little bit on Father's Day that's coming up. So we're going to be using, I think it's called He's the Man, or He's All That. And these are some of the cards we're going to make next week then. I have the Holy Smokes, You're Amazing. Who has a dad that barbecues, a brother that barbecues? Anybody. This is a great Father's Day card for anybody. Happy Birthday to a Classic with the classic cars on there. Wishing you, kind of a more generic, wishing you a happy Father's Day, and then hope your day is a grand adventure. So these are the cards we'll make next week. I hope you can join me then. And again, I want to thank you very much for watching me tonight, and I hope everyone has a good rest of the week. Bye for now. Thank you.